Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Jimmy and Uso might have gone their separate ways in WWE, but they still share the same X/Twitter account. The duo recently issued a light apology to the promotion's legend Stephanie McMahon after she spoke about Rikishi hitting her with a stink face. McMahon recently hosted the Usos, among other members of the Og Bloodline, on the new episode of her podcast, Stephanie's Places. Among the several memorable moments from the episode was when Stephanie McMahon spoke about Jimmy and Jay's father, Rikishi, taking her out with his trademark stink face. The former WWE CEO recently shared a clip of the moment, which quickly generated a response from the Usos. Check out their tweet below. On a recent episode of his Fatu Off the Top podcast, Rikishi stated that he would like to see new U.S. champion Jacob Fatu go after Uso. He added that a potential championship versus championship bout between the two performers could bring the house down. However, Rikishi advised Triple H and his team not to rush and slowly plant the seeds for a dream showdown between the two cousins down the line. Going by their interaction on this week's episode of Raw, Uso's first challenger post-WrestleMania 41 is expected to be Logan Paul. Arpit Shrivastava is a journalist who reports on pro wrestling WWE at Sportskeeda. He is also an assistant content manager for the AEW team and has played a pivotal role in building it from the ground up. Arpit graduated in political science and mass communication. From writing for his college magazine, while being a huge wrestling fan, to pursuing journalism as a career, he has accumulated 5 years of experience in the industry. During the course of his career, Arpit has written nearly 4K articles, garnering over 32 million reads. Besides covering the latest stories in the world of pro wrestling, Arpit mentors several up-and-coming writers and is also responsible for assembling a stellar team for Sportskeeda's all-elite wrestling division. Arpit gives utmost importance to fact-based reporting as he sources information only from reliable outlets. He believes in providing relevant information to readers, allowing them to form their opinions based on legitimate facts. Among Arpit's favorite wrestlers is MJF. He admires the Wolf of Wrestling for his cool, anti-authoritative attitude on television. Arpit is also fond of Sami Zayn's never say die approach and underdog persona. In the women's division, he looks up to Becky Lynch for her sheer aura. In a business where pride and passion often spill over into conflict, few moments are more powerful than when wrestlers lower their guards, swallow their pride, and speak from the heart. On the May 2025 edition of WWE SmackDown, the WWE Universe witnessed a moment that transcended scripted rivalries and championship pursuits. In a stunning, unscripted twist, Jimmy and Uso, sons of the legendary Rikishi and pillars of the Bloodline legacy, stood center ring and issued a heartfelt, emotional apology to a WWE Hall of Famer whose influence changed their lives, Edge, the rated R superstar. This moment came not with pyro, not with betrayal or a steel chair shot, but with raw vulnerability and maturity. It shocked fans, drew chants of respect from the crowd, and signaled a shift in the Usos' journey, from brash enforcers to self-aware leaders searching for redemption. To understand the depth of this apology, we need to rewind to 2021, during the height of Roman Reigns' reign of dominance. As the Bloodline grew in power and ruthlessness, it often trampled anything and anyone that stood in its way. One of those targets was Edge. Edge, returning from retirement and eager to cement his legacy in a new era, was repeatedly ambushed by the Usos. What began as simple interference turned into savage beatdowns, sneak attacks, and public humiliations. Jay, especially, was the spearhead of these assaults, playing the role of the right-hand man with ruthless precision. At one point, the Usos cost Edge a title shot at WrestleMania, attacking him the night before in a parking lot ambush that left him battered and unable to compete at 100%. While it made for compelling television, Edge later revealed the attack aggravated old injuries and forced him to delay plans for a final title run. Privately, Edge was hurt, not just physically, but emotionally. He had mentored the twins during their early years, He had shared wisdom in the locker room, called them family, and even vouched for them in creative meetings. Their betrayal, though kayfabe in part, struck a deeper chord, and the USOs knew it. Fast forward to SmackDown, May 2025. JUSO now walks alone, no longer part of the Bloodline after his brutal departure from the faction in late 2024. Jimmy, too, has splintered away following his recent return and realization of the toxicity the group created. The brothers, finding themselves again as individuals and as a tag team, opened the show with no music, no tribal drums, and no Roman in sight. They walked to the ring wearing black hoodies with the simple word family stitched on the back. After a brief pause and a glance between them, Jay picked up the mic. 4 years ago, we did something we can't take back. We made a mistake, a big one. And it hurt someone who never did anything but help us. Jimmy stepped in, visibly shaken. Edge, we know what we did. And we know it wasn't just business. It was personal. We chose power over respect. We chose loyalty to the wrong cause over love for someone who always had our backs. The crowd sat in stunned silence. This wasn't a promo. It wasn't a setup for a storyline. This was real. You looked at us like family, Jay said. And we repaid you with steel chairs and super kicks. We took away your moment, your chance to end your career on your terms. We took all that away and never once said sorry. Well, now we are. Jimmy followed. From the bottom of our hearts, Edge, we're sorry. And we're asking, not for forgiveness, but for understanding. The arena erupted in a mix of applause and stunned gasps. Then, in a moment no one expected, Edge's music hit. Edge emerged from the curtain in jeans and a leather jacket. But his face wasn't filled with rage. It showed something deeper. Emotion. He walked slowly to the ring, absorbing the chants of "Welcome back" and "Thank you, Edge." That echoed around the arena. Once inside, he stood in front of the USOs and simply said, "You finally did what few in this business are brave enough to do. You owned it." He paused, looking into their eyes. What happened back then? Yeah, it hurt. You didn't just beat me down physically. You shattered the bond we had. And I hated you for it. But I also saw two young men trapped in someone else's shadow. Edge extended his hand to Jimmy and Jay. The crowd rose to their feet as the three embraced, not as enemies, not even as co-workers, but as family. I don't know what your future looks like, boys, Edge said. But if it's anything like your past week, it's going to be built on something stronger than gold. It's going to be built on heart. The apology to Edge marked a new era for the USOs, a potential babyface renaissance that separates them from the Reigns-dominated narrative. It signaled a new focus on legacy, accountability, and growth. More than anything, it was proof that storytelling in wrestling can reach emotional depths beyond titles and stipulations. Fans took to social media, praising the segment for its authenticity. Even critics who usually scoff at emotional angles lauded the moment as genuine, earned, and long overdue. Now, with Edge's blessing and a cleared conscience, the USOs stand on the cusp of something special. Rumors are swirling of a face turn, perhaps a reunion with Sami Zayn, or a dream tag match against DIY. But even if nothing big comes of it in terms of storyline, this moment will be remembered as one of the most human in recent WWE history. WWE has always been about larger-than-life personas. But moments like this, when the veil lifts and reality bleeds into fiction, remind us why we love it. The USOs made their mark with super kicks and splashdowns. But on one unforgettable Friday night in May 2025, they made history with just 2 words. We're sorry. Would you like this in article format for publishing or social media sharing?